Hello, everyone, and welcome to the SD Times Live microwebinar series. This series is with a testing company called Mabl, and in today's live, we'll be continuing our discussion on various testing topics. To catch you up on the rest of the series, episode 1 focused on how automated end-to-end testing can be used to facilitate innovation. Episode 2 focused on how to maximize the value of end-to-end tests with accessibility testing. Episode 3 focused on how you can use end-to-end testing to improve performance. And today we'll be talking about how AI is making end-to-end testing more reliable. With me today is Lauren Kleberg, software engineer at Mabl, and now I'll kick things over to her.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lauren Kleberg, and I am excited to be talking to you today. I think I'm just waiting for the presentation. Okay, there we go. I am here to talk to you about how AI is making end-to-end testing more reliable. So my name is Lauren, and I am a software engineer at Mabl, and I've been here for about 4 years, and I have a machine learning background from MIT, so I'm very excited to talk to you today about how AI can help in your testing efforts in creating more reliable tests as well as creating tests more efficiently. So AI is the talk of the town. There is a lot of potential for AI to revolutionize the end-to-end testing space. A few of those ways are creating tests that are more reliable so that you can run those tests and spend less time maintaining them, as well as speeding up your team, because if you're not having to maintain your tests, you can create more tests more efficiently. And a lot of developers are clearly very excited about the opportunity to use AI for testing code. And AI joins the space at the perfect time because software is getting a lot more complex. We are using a lot more technologies and moving to cloud services and speeding up our development cycles so that companies are putting out a lot more features a lot more quickly, and these are a lot more complex. And we find that testing tends to start being a bottleneck here. So we want to help companies use AI to achieve the same level of quality that they did before their applications were more complex. And quality is extremely important because 32% of consumers report that they would actually stop using a brand when they've had one bad experience with it. So even in the world of more complex software, we still want to have the same level of quality. And I know that everyone has probably heard about how AI is revolutionizing a lot of industries probably over the next few months and few years, but there's also ways that you can actually use AI already today in the testing space. And a few of those ways are making tests more reliable and helping to use tools to have effective prioritization and speed up your teams. And I'm going to talk about a few ways that Mabl does this today. So one of those ways is reducing test maintenance time. So we have a feature called auto healing, where basically what we do is we try to update your tests and maintain them for you as your application is changing so that you don't have to spend that time maintaining tests. And instead you can focus on creating your new features. And these tests should still work with your new features. We also want to make sure that tests are being run reliably. So with these changes, we want to make sure that we're only making changes that are effective, and then you're able to run the tests and they're still passing when they should and failing when they should. So we have a feature called Intelligent Wait that takes into account the amount of time that your web application generally takes to load so that we can be sure that we've checked to make sure that you're in the right state of your app before we try to execute something like an auto heal, so that we can either speed up your testing if your application tends to load very quickly, or if it tends to load more slowly, we'll make sure that we wait long enough so that we're actually finding the right things. And then we also have, outside of actually running and creating the tests, we have tools that are helping teams make better decisions about their testing priority so that that can also speed up their teams. And one example is page coverage, where we use AI to try to reflect the actual states of your application. So we group similar URLs that we see into more realistic representations of pages so that you can actually measure your end-to-end testing coverage, which has been historically very difficult to do. And we're hoping that this allows teams to make sure that their testing accurately reflects the user experience. And one of our customers has actually used Mabl and our AI tools for a lot of these things. So NetForum Cloud is a web community part of the community brands umbrella, and they have been undergoing their own digital transformation. And through that, they've moved a lot of their applications to cloud-based technologies like Azure, and they were finding that testing was their bottleneck when they were able to create new features a lot more quickly. So when they switched to Mabl using some of our AI features like auto healing, they were able to increase the number of automated tests that they created by 40%, as well as reduce the time actually needed to do manual testing by 20%. And their customers no longer experience any downtime for upgrades to their application. So overall, Mabl is the leading low-code test automation solution that has a lot of these AI features that can help your team speed up your development cycles, as well as have a higher quality application. So if you would be interested in trying out some of these AI features, you can go to mabl.com/trial and take out a free trial today. And with that, thank you for listening. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few questions that I think maybe some people in our audience might also have. First would be, are there like new skills that someone would need to learn in order to use AI in testing?
There will be some new skills. I think there is a little bit of a learning curve, but the goal for companies like Mabl is to make that really easy. So the low code aspect of that makes it much easier to jump into, and then the gaps are much smaller. So it's a lot easier to use a low code solution like this than trying to do it yourself.
And how can people like be sure that like AI back testing tools are actually like giving accurate information?
Yeah, so there are a lot of ways that you can do this, but one of them is relying on data. So hopefully some of these solutions like Mabl offer data to give you an insight into how reliable your tests are, so that when we are making these changes using AI, that you can know that they are making good changes. So an example is within Mabl, we give you the ability to see how often your tests are passing and failing during any release cycle. So that's one way that you can see how flaky your tests are and see how good of a job that we're doing for maintaining your tests, as well as your own changes to the application, how many things you're potentially breaking versus not, as well as adding extra things into tests like assertions, so that we only update tests using auto heals whenever a test passes. So if you add things like assertions too, those are extra checks so that we know that we're making the right decisions with auto healing.
Perfect. That's all for today. Thank you, Lauren. Everybody should tune in next time for episode 5, which will be broadcast on August 16th. And in that episode, we'll learn about the benefits of running test automation on the cloud. Bye, everyone.